Long Island stretches eastward for 115 miles, from the New York boroughs of Brooklyn and Queens to the windswept bluffs and rollers of Montauk Point. In many ways, Long Island is the story of America. It's a story of Native Americans, some of whom welcomed European settlers ashore in 1637, and of those who resisted. It's a story of pirate treasure and hardy whalers, of Revolutionary War and the beginnings of a nation. It's a story of some of the world's greatest industrialists, artists, and adventurers. And binding these epic stories together is mile upon mile of some of the nation's best beaches and the warm summer rays of sunshine. Take the short train ride from Manhattan, take off your shoes, and step onto the sands of Long Beach. For many, Long Beach's iconic 2-mile boardwalk and endless rows of volleyball nets is where Long Island all begins. From here, Long Island's protective barrier islands continue in an almost unbroken chain all the way to West Hampton Island. Halfway along the chain, experience the wild, windswept beauty of Fire Island National Seashore. Take the short hike from Robert Moses State Park to the Fire Island Lighthouse, which for generations of immigrants sailing to New York was their very first glimpse of America. Give your credit card a workout in the exclusive boutiques, galleries, and restaurants of Main Street and Jobs Lane. And if shopping's not your thing, you'll find plenty of history to keep you occupied here too. Take a walk through Southampton's early times at the Historical Museum, whose centerpiece is the home of a 19th century whaling captain and his family. All around the home are smaller structures which give a window into Long Island life long before the paparazzi came to town. Today, Southampton Village is the heart of the Hamptons, the home of some of the USA's most expensive real estate. It's a place where today's movers and shakers come to escape behind the 20-foot-high hedgerows of their summer homes. The real estate here might be out of reach for most folks, but thankfully, the sun and sand of Cooper Beach is free for all to enjoy. It's not just vacationers who adore the mild maritime climate of Suffolk County. The grapes like it here too. Over the last 50 years, the potato fields of old have been replaced by vineyards. One of the largest is the Wolfer Estate, a little slice of Tuscany where 50 acres of vines thrive in the South Fork Loam. Just up the road at the Channing Daughters Estate, the grapes are still picked by hand and crushed by foot. Here, creativity is expressed not just in the daring varietals and blends, but also in the many sculptures which dot the estate. Artists, visionaries, and dreamers have long been inspired by the Hampton Light. Spend an inspirational hour or two at the Parish Art Museum, which celebrates artists who lived and worked in the East End, such as Andy Warhol, Ray Lichtenstein, and Chuck Close. Just a short drive away at the Longhouse Reserve, the sculptural works of Buckminster Fuller, Yoko Ono, and William de Kooning sit in perfect harmony with nature. But for modern art lovers, there is no more hallowed a destination than the former home of Jackson Pollock and Lee Krasner. It was here, on the outskirts of East Hampton, where one of the 20th century's most important artistic couples lived and painted. Step into the barn and walk upon the paint-splattered floor where Pollock threw himself body and soul into his visionary masterpieces, which shook the art world forever. Another East Hampton house worth visiting is the Home Sweet Home Museum, where the simple pleasures and practicalities of English settlers in the 1700s come vividly back to life. The past has also been beautifully preserved in the nearby town of Sag Harbor, an historic whaling port immortalized in Moby Dick. Behind the old whalers' church, pay your respects at the old burying grounds, where American raiders defeated the English redcoats in the Battle of Sag Harbor in 1777. Just a 30-minute drive east from Sag Harbor is Montauk, a place that the laid-back locals refer to as the End. Once the stomping ground of pirate Captain Kidd, today it's the perfect place to catch a wave or fish, or to hike the coastal trails of Shadmore State Park. 15 years after the Battle of Sag Harbor, America's first president, George Washington, commissioned Montauk Lighthouse on Long Island's easternmost point. Climb the iron steps to the top to take in the views. But before you descend, close your eyes for a few moments and feel the wind turn the pages of this incredible island. A place that has played center stage in some of America's greatest stories. A place that continues to attract dreamers, visionaries, and those who appreciate the finer things in life. A place that continues to send its inspirational and reassuring light out into the world.